Hey everybody, welcome back to World History with Mr. Finn. Again, we're super close when we're looking at our map, but I wanted to complete Rome and the Punic Wars, and then at the same time, Rome was taking over other areas of the Mediterranean that I wanted to show you on the map. Again, we do have a quiz after this, so you will not have notes today. What you will turn into me will be the quiz, so a little bit light on the notes, but I do want to show you what's happening here. So obviously, we remember Italy being the Italian peninsula, looks like a boot, and Sicily, and Carthage was down here, and they had their conflict in this area. But Carthage had also taken over areas of Spain and, southern France. So what happens after the Punic Wars is on the west side of the Mediterranean, Rome is going to be in control of North Africa, and in modern day Spain and France. They're gonna control this whole area. But what we didn't get to last class is what was going on around the same time as the Punic Wars were happening, and that was on this side of the Mediterranean, which in Greece and Macedonia, they were fighting the Hellenistic kingdoms. If you remember Hellenistic from the video with Alexander the Great, he spread Greek culture and it became known as Hellenistic era. That was really a Greek culture movement, but they were called the Hellenistic kingdoms after that, which you don't need to know for anything except for to understand that this area is what we would consider the Hellenistic, kingdoms of the time. And while Rome was fighting Carthage on this side, they also had wars in Greece and Macedonia, and they're going to come into, this is called Asia Minor, and into around Asia here. You can see where Asia is going to begin in the Middle East. And what's important to understand is that Rome takes over Macedonia and Greece and Asia Minor here and starting to move into the Middle East. So what we have for Rome by the time we get to around 150 BC or so, and again, next time we'll get into notes and we'll figure out what goes from there. But the important thing to understand is Rome now, from this one spot, has now expanded kind of across the Mediterranean. So by the time we get to around 100 BC, Rome has now, out of nowhere, kind of like in a very 50 to 100 year period, expanded crazy big. Because remember, Rome was just here, and for the first 200, 300, 400 years, it was just taking over this one peninsula. And then in a 100-year period, it goes and just explodes across the entire Mediterranean. So Rome now is becoming what we would consider like a superpower civilization, because if you remember when we talked about ancient Greece, that was right here. They had some colonies, but it was just this area. We don't have Egypt here on this map, but Egypt was, on the Nile River, as we know. The Tigris and Euphrates was just this one area, but Rome has now gone and kind of taken over a huge area. And so Rome is going to become immensely what we would call influential, because they are going to control all of these areas. They're going to decide what people do, how they're going to live, how is it all going to work. They're going to build road systems and all of this stuff. But what we will get to next time, and I know we have a quiz today, like I said, what we're going to get to next time is Rome itself and like the culture of Rome. So Rome, if you remember, had the Senate and patricians and plebeians that we had talked about earlier, and you have those in your notes. If you don't, go back and watch it so you can get those notes. But the rich people are still going to basically control Rome, and that group of rich people is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as the more wealthy of the rich people get more and more power, more control, and we're going to start to see. Basically, the idea is the people who are not the really, really, really rich people are going to say, hey, we're kind of being controlled by this small little group of people. And there's going to be some conflict with politicians who say, hey, I'm going to look out for the little guy. And the rich people won't like it, and we're going to see how that all goes in the culture itself. But for today, I just wanted to get to the point that Rome from here has now expanded this area and has expanded in this area. And they are in control of the Mediterranean. And it is the largest civilization that really we've talked about up until this point. And we'll get more into it. But while you get moved back to your area, get a piece of paper out. You will turn your quiz into me. It's going to be 4 questions. So let me move you, and then I'll get to the questions. Here we go. Watching out for chords. All right, there we go. We are in business, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so if you have a piece of paper out, then you, I don't know if that's all the way up, but we'll get it. Piece of paper out, here we go. Let's see some random questions. Here we go. Let me put the 1 through 4 on the board just so we can have it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it works easier that way. I'm going to flip to any page and let's see what we get. Here we go. Flipping my book. Ooh, here we go. Number 1 on your quiz today. Name me one, just one, of the 3 philosophers that we talked about in ancient Greece. So when we talked about ancient Greece, we talked about 3 philosophers. For number 1, I just want one of those. Just give me one of those ancient philosophers. Oh, I dropped a piece of paper. Number 2 is I think it should be an easier one. You might be able to get it if you've been paying attention to the videos just without even having to look. So number 2 it's a 50-50 question, half and half. Number 2, which ancient Greek polis or city-state had the stronger army, Athens or Sparta? The stronger army. Which one had the stronger army, Athens or Sparta? So number 2 is either going to be Athens or Sparta. Which one had the stronger army? Okay. Let's get out of ancient Greece. I got to go back a little bit further here. All right. India. I think we did this one before, not too long ago. So let's do this. This is in ancient India, or in India, did have this for a while. We talked about their rigid social system. You fit in to a certain class. We call them class. We have a class system. Ancient India called it a what? What was their rigid social order that is in your notes for number 3? We in America, in the United States today, we have a class system. They had a different term for it. Let's put it that way. Let's get way back. We're too close to stuff. All right. Ooh, I like this one. This goes way back to one of the beginning. Here we go. It'll be in your notes, though. It should be in your notes, so I hope. We'll see what we get. In ancient Sumeria, when we talked about the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, every city-state had one of these in the center of it. It means a stepped pyramid. That would have been how it was written. So if you look back, you might have to look back for that one. It'd be a stepped pyramid. What is a stepped pyramid called that was in the center of every Sumerian city-state? That is what I want today. That's your quiz. Make sure you turn it in today, because not only am I going to grade it for your quiz, but I'm also going to have that as your participation for the day and attendance. You guys have been doing great, and I look forward to seeing some good scores. I'll see you next class.